Thank you. Thanks to both the candidates for responding to questions. Now we'll bring things to a close with a closing statement. Mr. Whalen?
You know, one of the things I saw the other day was that I think Mr. Braley talked that I was one of a privileged person. Okay, and I'm just going to have to say, you know, Mr. Braley, you are right. I'm very privileged. I was privileged to be born in the United States of America. I'm privileged the fact that I was born in Iowa, that I was privileged to be born to good parents and have a good education. I was privileged to have the right to come back here and open a business. And I was privileged to be able to work that business 18 hours a day alongside my wife and build that into something. I'm privileged to be part of the fact that I had the right to live the American dream. And that's why I'm running. Because I want that privilege to be handed down to my kids and my grandkids. Because that is a privilege that few people in the history of mankind have ever had. And you know, I'm glad to say that I think pretty much everybody in this room falls into that privileged class. Because every year, every election, some folks have stepped up and said, you know, that is an American dream, a privilege, a unique one among humankind that's willing to fight for it. That's why I'm running. That's why I'm asking people to look at my application and to hire Mike. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Whalen. Mr. Braley.
Thank you, Mark, for moderating tonight. Thank you all for coming out. And Mike, thank you for running. Because even though you and I may have serious disagreements on some significant policy issues, I appreciate the fact that you had the courage to put your name on the ballot, to frame the issues for the people that are going to decide this election, and to give people a chance to weigh where we stand on these issues. I know what it's like to put yourself in that position. You know, folks, I said at the beginning that this is really a very simple election. It's about whether you want change or more of the same. And the choices between the two of us couldn't be any greater. If you want to change the direction of this country and have someone represent you who's going to be a strong, independent, bipartisan vote, vote for Bruce Braley. If you want someone who's going to rubber stamp the failed policies of the Bush administration, vote for Mike. If you look at where he stands on the major issues, including the war in Iraq, where he has said he supports the president 100% on the decisions he's made, it couldn't be a starker contrast. I ask you to help me chart a new direction for this country. So if you want Congress not to get a pay raise until minimum wage is finally increased, vote for me. If you want Social Security to be kept from being privatized and putting your retirement or your disability dollars at risk, vote for me. If you want to change the direction of our failed policy in Iraq and turn the fighting over to the Iraqis and start to redeploy our troops the way the Republican Congress mandated, vote for me. If you believe that we need to make ourselves safer by adopting the recommendations of the 9/11 Commission, vote for me. You know, I want you to vote for me because I want you to trust me. I am one of you. I was born in Iowa. I was raised in Iowa. I grew up in Iowa. I got all of my education in Iowa. I started working in this state when I was in 3rd grade, and I've been working ever since. I fell in love in Iowa. I got married in Iowa. I raised my 3 kids who mean the world to me here in Iowa, and I want them to have the same opportunities that my wife Carolyn and I had growing up and living in this state, and that's why I'm going to fight for their future. I want you to know that I will not rest until Iowa's 1st District is heard, because it's time to change the direction of this country, and it's time to accept more than business as usual. I believe that Iowa has the best state motto in the country. Our liberties we prize, and our rights we will maintain. I think that sums up who I am as a candidate, and I'm asking you to send me to Congress to live up to those Iowa values. Thank you all for coming.
Thank you. And thank you both for this very constructive, helpful debate. This concludes our debate of the Iowa 1st District candidates. I'd like to personally thank Mike Whalen and Bruce Braley for tonight's helpful and civil exchange of ideas. I'd like to thank you all for coming and you all for watching. The next step of democracy is participation. Be sure to mark Election Day, and you can tune in to QCTimes.com and the Quad City Times to continue this debate and learn more about these candidates. Thanks again.